So the first thing that you're going to do is up at the top of your paper, you're going to list out your squares and cubes. Now look, if you know them, that is so awesome. If you don't, watch. I'm going to type in the calculator 2 squared. You see how that's 4? Right, 4. We're going to start making our list. And then watch. Just look. See how I changed the 2 to a 3? 3 squared is 9. And see how I can change it to a 4 and get 16? Change it to a 5 and I get 25. So if you don't have them memorized, you can at least get them from the calculator. All right, but let's make our list. So we've got 4, 9, 16, 25. Those are the ones I typed in so far. But I just want to see if you know them. And again, if you don't, it's cool. You can get them from the calculator. What's the next one? Yeah, 6 squared is 36. Good. 49 is 7 squared. Perfect. Rattling them off. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, it's on my desk. 81, 100. Let's just go a little bit further. I don't know that you're going to need past that, but 121 is 11 squared. And then 144 is 12 squared. They keep going. Like numbers are infinite. And I don't really expect that you know I'm past that, but you could type in the calculator 13 squared, 14 squared, 15 squared, as far as you needed to. Okay. Now let's do the cubes. I will share my screen. If you don't know them, you can type them in. All right. I'm going to type in 2 cubed. Well, does anyone know 2 cubed? 2 cubed is 8. Good job. So put 8. And then you can just change the 2 to a 3. 3 cubed is, I almost said squared. 3 cubed is 27. And then you can change it to a 4 and you get 64. If you don't know them, it's totally cool. Just type them in the calculator. Oh, sorry, not to. Can't write and talk at the same time. 8, 27, 64. Oh, good. 5 cubed is 125. And I think I'm remembering there's some that are a little bit bigger. 6 cubed is 216. I don't expect you to have that memorized, but you could type 6 cubed in the calculator. And 7 cubed is 343. Again, numbers are infinite. They keep going. You have a calculator, right? So here we go. Square root of 16. That's on the list. Believe it or not, this is like one of the most commonly missed questions because people try to like do the problem. The answer is literally just 4. If it's a number that's on the list, don't do anything. For example, the one right below that, see cube root of 216. If you look at your cubes, do you see how 216 is on that? Don't do any work. The answer is just 6. That's it. Please, like, just don't overthink that. Now, the rest of these we're going to have to split up. So draw your 2 little houses. I need a number from the squares list that goes into 54. Okay, good. But hold on a second. If you didn't know that, you're going to type 54 divide x, gear table. And do you see how you can keep going until you find it right there? 9? 9 times 6. Use your calculator. Gear table. 9 times 6. Now, the point is 9 works. It's not a dead end number. What is your square root of 9? 3. So 3 square root of 6. That's kind of like this whole unit. That's really all you need to be able to do. Now, for this one, that 8 is just there. Do you remember me saying that? I don't have a better explanation than it's just there. It's just going to follow us along. Like just put 8. It's just there. Draw your 2 little houses. What is 300 going to break up into? You need a number from your squares list. 100, good, times 3. The 8 is just there. Thank you. It is just there, right? What is your square root of 100? 10. And then in your last step, you just multiply them. 8 times 10 is 80. Square root of 3. That's all that there is to that. I hope they find them. All right. Same thing for number 5. That 7 is just there. It's just there. Now, when you break it apart, you need to put the little 3s to make it a cube root. Now, I don't know what this one is, to be real honest with you. I think it might be 27, but let's see. I'm going to type it in. 108 divide x, gear table. There it is, 27. Do you see that? I had a guess, but I checked it, all right? 27 times 4. The 7 is just there. Just put 7. And then what is your cube root of 27? It is 3. Do you remember how to type cube root in the desk? Perfect. I love you guys. CBRT. All right, and then you got cube root of 4 is just there. And then your last step, you just multiply them together. So 7 times 3 is 21. All right, this is a rather large number. We're going to use the calculator. Draw your two little houses. The fact that it's negative just means you're going to have a negative in your answer. I'm not going to type that part in the calculator. Okay, so let me come over here. I'm going to type 4,394. Divide by X, gear table. All right, we're trying to find a number on the cubes list. I don't see it. Wait, was it a square root or a cube root? I guess. Does anyone see it? I wonder if it's this 2,197. Let's see. Let's see if I'm right. I only went through 7 cubed. Let's do 8 cubed. See, if you need to go further, 8 cubed is 512. 9 cubed is 729. 10 cubed is 1,000. Oops. 11 cubed, 12 cubed. There it is. I don't have a magical calculator in my head. Do you see how I just typed whatever cubed until I found it? Do you see how that's that 2,197 is on our table? Because after I went so far in the table, I thought, oh, like it can't be this far. But do you see how it's 2,197 and then 2? And it's just negative, like there's just a negative there. And then what was it, 13 cubed? What did I find it was? Do you see how it's 13 cubed? Do you understand what 13 cubed means? It's 13 times 13 times 13. That's like why it's such a big number. All right. So anyway, that's going to be negative 13 cube root of 2. I think we threw that on there because someone found a really large number like that on like something that was SOL prep. And we were like, oh, well, we better do one like that. Numbers are infinite. They keep going forever. Sometimes you got to play with the calculator. All right, here we're getting into adding and subtracting. They need to be the same. Are these ones the same? Yes. Now what's really in front of this is a 1. So 17 plus 1 is 18. The stuff there doesn't change. If you have 17 apples plus 1 apple, you have 18 apples. They're still apples. They didn't change to oranges or something. Are these ones the same? No. You're going to have to split up that square root of 12. Why did we split 3? It's too small. It's already too small. All right, and I think Jackson just said the answer already. It'll be 4 times 3. And then what is your square root of 4? Because that's kind of the whole point. 2. Good. Now, do you see how they're the same? Yeah, now you can add them together. Negative 6 plus 2, negative 4, square root of 4. This is the same thing except cube roots, all right? So you're going to have 2 cube root of 3, and then the other one we're going to have to split up, and I'm going to have to type that in the calculator because 375, I have a feeling it's 125, but let's see if I'm right. Let me clear out all this mess. So what was it, 375? Yes. Divide X, gear table. Do you guys see how I don't have a calculator in my brain? I'm just figuring it out. But see, I guessed 125. I thought that seemed likely. So 125 and 3. All right, so yes, it is 5. So 5 cube root of 3. And now do you see how they're the same? So now you can subtract them. So 2 minus 5 is negative 3. All right, these ones down here are multiplying. You're going to multiply the numbers outside of the roots and then multiply the numbers inside. So the numbers outside, the coefficients, 2 times 4 is 8. And then underneath the square root, 10 times 5 is 50. Good job. The 8 is just there. All right, so you've got 8. Can you stop that? So I need two numbers that multiply to be 50, but one of them has to be something that you could square root. So a number from your squares list. 25. Good job. 25 times 2. So what is your square root of 25? 5. Do you see how that 8? I just 8, 8, 8. It's just there. I just wrote it on every line. And then in the last step, you just multiply them together. So 8 times 5 is 40. That's all we did there. Let's try it again. The numbers outside, -2 times 3, -6. And then do the numbers inside, 3 times 18. I don't know that one off the top of my head. I don't have my 18 times tables numbers. You want to guess? Estimation's an important skill. 54. The 6 or -6 is just there. Like it's just there. I don't have a better explanation. It's like it's just there. Just write it. So I need numbers that multiply to be 54. One of them has to be off of the cubes list. All right. So I'm going to do 54 divide x. Make a table. Or do you know it? There you got it. 27 times 2. You open that. All right. What is your cube root of 27? 3. See, you guys are starting to like have some of them memorized just by accident from like doing this many problems. All right. And then your last step, you just multiply those. So -18 cube root of 2. All right. Do you see how this says squared? Yeah. Right there? That means that there are 2 of them. That is how that works. Squared means a twin. It means you have 2 of them. You could always type it in the calculator too. So we're going to multiply the numbers outside, multiply the numbers inside. 3 times 3 is 9. And then underneath 4 times 4 is 16. Do not break it apart. 16 is one of your perfect numbers. What is your square root of 16? 4. Believe it or not, that messes people up the most. Like, because you don't have to do anything. All right. And then 9 times 4 is 36. There isn't even like a back page to this. This is a very short test. All right, listen to me. All right, so we want to split up square root of 180. So I am going to share my screen and go into my calculator. I'm going to do 180 divide x, gear table. Now, just as a heads up, I think 4 is probably going to be on here, but we want something bigger. You want the largest number. So look through. Do you see a number on this list? There you go. 36. Good job. 36 and 5. Nice job. You're going to destroy this test, right? I need you to take that focus and put it on the test, all right? So 36 and 5. And then what is your square root of 36? 6. So your answer is B as in bubble gum. All right. Now this one, which of the following simplifies to this? Listen, that is the backwards question. It's like this is the answer. Which one of these is the question? You're still going to draw your 2 little houses. The 2 is, you know, kind of just there. And you're going backwards. Instead of square rooting, you're going to square. So what is 3 squared going to give you?
Actually, that would give you 9.
It would give you 9. And then 9 times 2 is 18. So D is in dangerous. But listen, if you were like, hey, Miss Cole, I didn't quite get that, and I think I'm going to miss that one on the test. I've got you. Can you pay attention? What I'm going to do is type what the problem was. What was it? 3 square root of 2? Look at that. Do you see how it came out to 4.24, blah, blah, blah? If you type each of the choices, look, square root of 6, do they match?
No.
Can you guys focus for me? All right, what was the next one? Square root of 12, do they match? No. Next one was 54, do they match? No, and then the last one was 18, do they match?
Is that really what you have to do?
Yep. If it's multiple choice. Now, if it's not multiple choice, you can't get away with that. Oh, so like, look at this one. Everything that is equivalent to square root of 200. Are you right? If anyone misses this, I'm going to lose my mind because this is how easy it is. It's like brain optional. Square root of 200. Do you see how it's 14.14? All right. What's the first choice? 10 square root 2. Does that match? Circle it. All right, the next one is square root 20 times square root of 10. Does that match? Circle it. Capital 8. Or that you mean the little dot? It's shift 8, or you can come down here and I'm sure it's in there somewhere. Or if you don't like that, you can put parentheses around them instead. There's options. You can type it a bunch of different ways. All right, so we want that one. All right, the next one, 2 times 10 to the power 1/2. Does that match? No, exit out. All right, the next one is 5 and then 8 to the power 1/2. Does that match? Yay, circle it. The next one is 2 square root 10. Does that match? No, get rid of it. And then the last one is 8 square root of 5. Does that match? No. So it should look like this. Do you see that? What is the perimeter of this triangle? The way you get a perimeter is to add up all of the sides. You're just going to add them together. 2 of them go together and the third one doesn't. It's kind of like which of these things doesn't belong. Which 2 go together? Yeah, do you see how they're both 2?
Yeah.
Add them together. 2 plus 3 is 5. All we did there is 2 plus 3 equals 5. And then this one, you can't do anything with. They're not like terms. They're not the same. So that's just your answer. It's exactly like that on your test too. 2 of them are going to go together and then the third one isn't. You're just adding. And that's it. All right, this is your backwards question. Draw your 2 little houses. They need a little 3 out front because it's a cube root. It's what's the question if this is the answer. So we're going backwards. So the 5 is there. Instead of cube rooting, you are going to cube. Well, cube because it's a cube root. So we need to do 4 cubed. It's on your list if you look back at it. Can anybody find it? Look back at your list. What is 4 cubed? It is 64. Good job. And then all you're going to do is 64 times 5. I'm not going to share my screen because I'm just going to type that in. 64 times 5 is 320. So you're just going backwards. Instead of cube rooting, you are cubing. All right, last page. Which 2 of the following have a product of this? You have to know what the word product means. What does product mean? Multiplication. What means plus? Let's talk about that. Sum means plus. This is multiplication. So look, you don't even need to do anything. You're going to type it in the calculator. What is it? 18 square root 35. See how I did that? 106 point blah, blah, blah. So let's pick 2 of them and try. Let's try the first one. Square root of 5. What do you want to multiply that by? 3 square root of 5. Oops. There. Does that equal 106 point whatever? No. Okay, so let's try the 9 square root of 7. Does that equal it? No. All right, let's try the 2 square root of 63. Does that equal it? No, that means it's not this square root of 5 because I tried that with everything. So let's try, what other one do you want to try? 3 square root 5. Oh, whoops. Oh my gosh, that's it. Do you see it? Those are the 2. Do you see how it matches? So 3 square root of 5 and 2 square root of 63. This one and this one. You don't even have to do anything. It's brain optional. Just type in the calculator. Oh, same with this one. Choose all of them that are equivalent to 5 square root of 2. Here we go. Don't stop listening to me. It's this easy. No one should miss this. 5 square root 2. Now let's test all the options. 8 square root 2 minus square root 2. Does that match? No, cross it out. All right, the next one is an 18. Does that match?
Yeah.
Yay, winner, winner, chicken dinner. All right, next one, 5 times 3 square root of 10. Does that match? Nope, pick it out. And then the last one is square root of 5 times square root of 10. Does that match? Yes, that's another one that we want. Just type them in. Just type all your options. All right, now these last ones for the fractions. All you need to know is 1/2 and 1/3. Those are the only ones we're doing. 1/2 means square root, 1/3 means cube root. That's all that this is. Okay. So when it says write an equivalent expression, rational means fraction. What's the root word of rational? Because that's how I explained it to you.
Ratio.
Ratio. means fraction, all right? So this is going to be 7 to the 1/2. Square root means a half. This one would be 6 to the 1/3. Hey, Miss Cole, that's the answer? Yeah, that's literally it. All right. Now this one, you're going to write it as a radical and then simplify it. So is this one a square root or a cube root? Square root. Square root of 25. You don't have to break it apart. You can just put the answer is 5. That's it. Square root or cube root for this one? Cube root. So cube root 32. Now that one's not going to work, so we're going to have to split it. Draw 2 little houses. Dang it. Where did I pen? So you need a number from your cubes list that goes into 32. It is 8 times 4. What is your cube root of 8? 2. Yeah, you guys are starting to like know them. I'm really impressed by that. If you don't though, that's totally cool. Use a calculator. All right, write 3 expressions. Basically, we're going to simplify this. Square root or cube root? Square root of 80. That's one expression that's equivalent. Now we're going to split it apart. For the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and tell you it's 16 times 5, but you would go into the calculator and do what? 80 divided by x, make a table. All right, so that's another expression that's equivalent. And then what's your square root of 16? 4. And that's a third expression that's equivalent. Basically, it's just do the problem. All right. Last one. Square root or cube root? Yep. Square root of 5 plus square root of 45. Do you see how they're not the same? So you're going to need to split up the 45 to make it work. Do you know 2 numbers that'll multiply to be 45, but one of them's got to work? 9 times 5. Very good. And then what is your square root of 9? Is 3. Very good job being quick. I appreciate you.
Good job.
So it's square root of 5 plus 3 square root of 5. Now you can add them together. Now this is really 1 plus 3 is 4.